Such a pleasure to be here again. Hello. Um, I'm privileged to be sharing with you today, and we're having FBI 2.0. It's actually second edition of Financial Business Intelligence. And just so you know, the first edition of Financial Business Intelligence was such a success. In fact, as I'm speaking to you, we've inspired, more businesses, student-led initiative. I'm talking about small businesses to the barest minimum you can imagine. Capital as little as 50,000 naira, 60,000 naira, a small 100,000 naira loan, small perfume, but just little knowledge that can cause an expansion of trajectory. You see, because that little thing you are doing, it will rise on the strength of your knowledge. So today we're having FBI 2.0, and much more than episode 1 or much more than the first edition, this is going to be even better. It's going to be shorter because we took feedback from our previous edition and we are improving on that. So it's going to be shorter, it's going to be more apt, it's going to be more direct. You're going to have more questions, obviously, because it's shorter. But we're making out a dedicated Q&A session to address this. Our book club platform is even open, so you can join the My Journey in Book Club, and we discuss elaborately, on some of the ideas that are shared on financial business intelligence. I want to start by appreciating My Journey and everyone that makes this program possible. Thank you to all the hands behind the scene and on scene, managers, organizers making this a success. Thank you very much. God bless you. So today, financial business intelligence. If you watched part 1, you will know that we discussed FMCGs, right? You already know what that is: fast moving consumer goods. Gives so many practical insights, so many practical examples. Today we'll be focusing more on certain principles, because working with businesses, working with student-led small businesses, some entrepreneurs, tailors, people selling soap, bread, bakers. There's some insights I've picked up and I want to share on a general note so that all of you that encounter with me via My Journey Inc. can pick up these principles and run with it. So today we're still discussing FMCGs, but we're looking at it from a much more holistic perspective. We're not going as deep into the details of sheets and running it, but we're looking at holistic perspectives that are most essential for your business in Nigerian context. So one of the other challenges we have discovered in My Journey in Book Club is that we read books on finances for the first 4 months of the year every year, but many of these books are foreign and they're not applicable to our context. So that is where our emphasis is, and that is the issue or the challenge we are addressing in this community. We're going to be looking at opportunity, scale, and then I'm going to be looking at strategic pitfalls in many of our businesses, because most of the businesses tied to us are FMCGs, and I assure you they're the best. What is FMCG? Just like I defined before, I won't spend time here because we should know all this. Those of us that have been, following this chariot for up to a year now should clearly, understand it. Fast moving consumer goods are low cost, and high demand frequently purchased items. So there's no need for rocket science. We're trying to be as practical as possible. So think about your life. What are the things you use every day? Did you bathe? Did you brush? Right? So I said soap without saying that. How do you solve your hunger problem? FMCGs, right? So they include essentials, liquid soap, because when we eat, we use plates, we wash the plate, we wash our clothes. These are everyday necessities that you need on per time, per minute, per day basis. And what FMCG means to us as a Nigerian population is way more than many of us imagine. We already have a huge identity with oil and gas. We have this, we're an oil producing country. So everything that talks finances revolves around oil and gas. And when we think about oil and gas, we think that's what is driving the entire economy. That's where all our monies, are generated from. But the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has already told us that 48% of our GDP is from FMCGs. Get it's tied to FMCGs. It's to tell you that these are $1 billion worth products. Think about your mayonnaise, right? Think about flour, think about sugar, think about those things that somehow you seem to be glued on them. You seem to be able to make your day go through it. You seem to be unable to go through a day, right, without engaging those things. Those are what FMCG represents. And if the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics says 40% of our GDP, that is enough for anybody to plug in and make a living out of. I'll keep encouraging us. Small businesses are a name. You can start small and grow big. And it can also be something for sustenance, especially in our economy today where opportunities do not linger. Opportunities are not just lying fallow, right? FMCGs are something that you can easily plug into with the minimum that is available to you and make something worthwhile out of it. And I'm glad that this MGI community, we have practical examples, right? We have practical examples. Last time we did a conjunction with Indelight Peanut. We're going to make more conjunctions like that. I'm trusting that we can collaborate with Party Pantry. We can collaborate with as many, small businesses that are around us: printing business, soap business, the clothing business, the hair business. There are like 6, 7 enterprises already springing up amongst us, and these are not businesses to be overlooked. They are something to plug into. So I want to make a very bold statement that I want every one of us to learn from. And this is the fact that once you hear FMCGs, it's not about margin. When we started working with small businesses about 3 years ago, it was so difficult to let this out, to make it understandable. Small businesses don't get it when you say it's not about margin, right? For FMCG, it's about volume, not margin. And I love this concept because many of us on campus, I was having a conversation today, and one of our sisters was educating me that Delta State University boasts about 45,000 students. Think about that. Now, think about a 50% market share on a 5 naira profit. You will fund yourself through school. Because when I said a 50% market share, like, what does everybody may not, plug into that product. But soap, by the time you drill it down, let's say liquid soap, for example, give or take at least 20,000 of those students will interact with liquid soap at least 3 times a week. Look at the volume there, because once you see a dense population, the word is dense population, you must realize that business is available there. So Nigeria doesn't just have 200 million people, it has a dense population. We're approaching 250 million as it stands. But anytime we think of large economies, we think of Lagos. The economy of Lagos is equivalent to that of the entire Kenya. Why? Because Lagos is densely populated. So you'll be amazed that the taxi driver is making 800,000 naira a month as after maintenance driving in Lagos, because it's densely populated. So same with campuses. Every institution you see, because I based in campus ministry, every time I move from campus to campus, at the back of my mind, because of this aspect of me, this passion for small businesses, I see business on those campuses. You see 2,000 students gathered in a hall. Guess who is sweating? Half of them. Guess how much per handkerchief? 30 naira profit. Now, 30 naira times 500 in one event. So many times the inspiration, the creativity, the ideology is not there. But you must take note that it's not about margin. Don't chase the margin. Chase the volume. Chase the market, not the margin. Now, speaking about FMCG, I need to let us know how critical, FMCG is to our nation. I already mentioned what the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics said. But in terms of employment, We have over 65% of our citizens employed directly or indirectly with FMCGs. There are several billionaires that you hear their name. It's FMCGs. That's where they deal on. What they own are distribution networks. But because we hear the name of one big company, we just think, oh, it must be oil or it must be entertainment. Whereas, not so. One of the popular names that's dominant force in this industry today is the name Cubana. Right? These are FMCG businesses or businessmen, strong distribution network, strong market share dominance. Um, I want to share with us three core reasons why FMCG are necessary advantages, necessary thoughts that should run through the mind of every young Nigerian today. One is our population advantage. I made reference to that earlier. I wouldn't dwell on that. Another one is our economic reality. I want to give an instance. One of the issues with Nigeria is that our economy is very porous, very unstable. You can sleep today in one economy and wake up the very next morning in another economy. Our economy can change, so it can be so variant in 3 weeks. Countries in the Western world are not as unstable as this. Now, how does running an FMCG play an important role when it comes to the economic reality of Nigeria? Rising inflation actually favors smaller, cheaper units. So pricing is a serious competitive advantage in Nigerian markets. Even though quality is, everybody loves quality. But what does the market say? I remember back when I was in secondary school and Supra was the name of a shoe. For those of us that know, Supra was raining and everybody was buying a Supra. And we saw whiskey then was just coming up as a musical artist. So what is Supra? The next time I saw a Supra, it was called Supla. The next time I saw Super. The next time I saw Soup. And there were all manners of shoes with all manners of names. We know where they are coming from. Right? We know where those shoes are being produced here in Nigeria. Thank God for Governor Alex Otti and the support is bringing there. We're expecting we're expecting much more Louis Vuitton and Louis Vuitton, because the price of the product is an advantage because of our economic reality. You cannot eliminate the fact that we are in a poor nation and our GDP per capita is very low despite our huge population. So what do you think the people are looking for? These 200 million people, they are looking for basic necessities. These 200 million people, they are looking for basic necessities. I'm not saying luxury is not good. I'm not saying quality is not good. I'm saying that pricing should be prioritized for FMCG as well as quality, but you should put a serious consideration on your price point, because if you're not able to inject into the market a very good price point, your product will not be available. And in the market, just like I said earlier, if you are focusing on volume and not margin, availability becomes priority. Availability is the secret of consistency in business. Many small businesses are not consistent. So I want to buy soap. Obviously, I use liquid soaps every time in my business. But now I need liquid soap from you. Liquid soap is unavailable. Why is liquid soap unavailable? That inconsistency makes me to seek another alternative. By the time I get supply from another alternative, and it goes on and on and on and on and on, you're struggling to make sales, your marketing is poor, but at the end of the day, your customers still get that need sorted because of how saturated the market is. Pricing is critical, and the economic reality of Nigeria also is that when inflation happens, it's the consumers that actually pay for that inflation. The consumers suffer it. So fuel price just went up. Who paid for the increase in fuel? Do you think it's the keke riders? It's the passengers. Because fuel went from 800 naira to 1000 naira to 1200. It has gone back to 1000 naira. But the same price I paid at 1 2, I'm still paying it till now. The customers, the consumers suffer for that inflation. So the same way you are always dealing with FMCGs, you're always patronizing FMCGs, you need to engage one and be able to understand the Nigerian economy so that you are able to be flexible enough for your FMCG to thrive in the midst of economic reality. And the third thing I'm going to share for FMCGs is a low barrier of entry. What do I mean by this? Last 2 years ago, I supported an FMCG, and the FMCG is worth almost 500,000 today in products, in sales. How much? When I said I supported it now, it looks like a big deal. But how much really was that in Nigerian naira? Right? Even if you put cost inflation, it's still under 50,000 naira today. There are several FMCG opportunities that you can enter with minimal available capital, because capital is a major problem in Nigeria. We don't have a good credit system. So capital is a major challenge. So I'll encourage you, enter easily, slide easily. You're a student on a Nigerian campus. Get scarf. Design this scarf with beads and trade in your hostels. From the information I had today, it means Delta State University Abraka would have at least 25,000 ladies. At least 25,000 ladies. You don't need to sell for 25,000 people. Meet the demand of 500. If you meet the demand of 500 consistently every month, you have enough to take care of yourself. And you'll see it that not just Nigerian churches, fellowships that graduated into churches and are successful today, there are even businesses. One popular one is Item 7. I was at a restaurant at Abeokuta. They have a bakery, they have a grill, a night grill spot, and they have an eatery. They started on campus. A simple restaurant on campus. But what campus was that? It was Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. How many students do you think for that booster? You're looking at 60,000 students, 70,000 students. If they were successful in dominating that market and they run it for 7 years, they have enough money to begin a fast food chain restaurant. So those are three major points. I ended with low barrier of entry. I spoke about inconsistency in economic realities, and I spoke about our population advantage, because dense population is an indication of business. Now, I'm going to give practical examples, to give us practical examples of some of the instances I made mention of, because I want us to learn. I want us to learn from this. So, MGI community, we have data, and we know that many of us, are in our 20s. So every one of us knows peak milk, right? And we know peak milk is the milk that sort of is premium. But peak milk has sachets. Why? Even among there's refill sachets. I'm talking about the sachet. I don't know how much it sells for now. 250 naira, I believe. So we have peak milk sachets. And when we started buying that sachet, it used to be 30 naira at some point as children. Why does peak milk have little sachet like that? Because at a point in Nigerian history, cowbell are the ones that entered into the market with sachets that minimum. Because cowbell was sort of poor man milk. Peak milk was big man milk. Today, cowbell is a dominant competitive force in the market. Cowbell didn't try to fight with peak milk on teens, on children milk. No, they just entered into, let us satisfy the masses that really need milk but don't have bulk cash to buy it that time. So by the time peak milk was 50 naira per sachet, cowbell was 30 naira per sachet. And cowbell entered the market, till they dominated the market, and then they began to roll out those, what I would call premium, or those large, products that the average customer may not be able to afford. But that has been their advantage till now. It will even amaze you to know that big companies have two products. They'll have one that's like meeting the general public, or that's premium, and another one meeting the general public. Another example I can give is Bama mayonnaise. Many of us here use Bama mayonnaise. Growing up, I didn't like Bama mayonnaise. We used to use salad cream to eat salad anytime we eat salad. But I don't know how many families have that same experience. But in my own household, as the economy began to shift in Nigeria, we began to shift from Heinz salad cream to Bama mayonnaise for salad. And I didn't like mayonnaise, but I like it now because if you eat it enough, you will make do with it. A point came recently in the market, and we began to see mayonnaise in sachet, right? That's sauce mayonnaise. It's two different products. But do Nigerians care? Whatever it is we use the Bama mayonnaise itself to do, we use mayo sauce to do it. Because the sachet is mayo sauce, is a bit different from mayonnaise. But that is another example of what I'm trying to say. The price point, Bama was able to enter into another price point and satisfy another end of the market, and they leave competitors out of that market. The last example I'm going to give us is DSTV. Everybody knows multi-choice, right? DSTV. We remember HITV when HITV came to Nigeria, started selling satellite dish, free sports channel, free to air, and we thought DSTV is going to run away from the market and they're going to. What did DSTV do? They responded. They went into production. They stood the test of that competition, and guess what they did next to protect themselves? Go TV. They brought Go TV. That's why they brought Go TV to protect themselves. So till today, DSTV is not going anywhere anytime soon, because they're able to understand that for an unstable economy like Nigeria, price pointing is very important. Satisfying mass. HITV had more than 250,000 customers. So if you put GoTV and DSTV together, guess how many thousands of customers they are satisfying? It will be millions as far as Nigeria is concerned. Now, these are just examples to help us understand that the Nigerian market has its blend, has its flavor. And you that is running small business, you should have the same understanding, the same knowledge, because whatever principles the big guys are running to stay big guns, you run it on your small scale, you will see good results too. Now, I want to recommend to us 3 formulas. I will call them 3 formulas for FMCG success. And don't forget that I'm not just talking to FMCGs. I'm not just talking to big businesses. I'm not talking to Beloxi. I'm not talking to Dangote. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Ini. I'm talking to Goodluck. I'm talking to Mrs. Sudeme. I'm talking to small and medium scale enterprises. I'm talking to you that your capital is 200,000. I'm talking to you that you are planning to start a business with 50K. I'm talking to you that you have been doing business for 6 months and your whole revenue is 200,000. That's what I'm talking to. I'm talking to you that you want to borrow 100,000 naira and start selling PEF. That's what I'm talking to. Because I'm talking about FMCGs. That's what you do. That's the space you are. And we are a huge contributor to the Nigerian economy. And you need to see yourself at that. So what are 3 formulas that can improve what you are doing? That can improve that your soap business? That can improve your printing business, right? That can improve your social media business or your peanut business. What are those things? So first of all, I want to focus on is production. A sister from MGI met me and she wants to sell makeup materials. She wants beauty care products. And she talked about learning, making it, branding it, selling it, because she saw some other sisters do it and she's passionate about it, right? I love the concept. I love the idea. But I had a challenge. She didn't even have the capital complete to learn. And when you're in a place where your capital is short, your priority should be sales. Your priority should be sales. You need to learn this. You need to learn how to make the product. It will cost you 70,000 naira. All you have is 60K and you want to start a business. Why not get the products and sell? Sell until from the sales you make the money to learn, then you make the money to commence yours. So that's the counsel I gave her. And I educated her on something. She's listening to me now, and I want her to learn from these 3 tips I'm going to share. Because for those of you already in FMCGs, from the dealings with you, this is 3 major things you need to pay attention to. Number 1, like I said earlier, is production. Consistency of quality, aggressive cost control, and smart raw material sourcing. Capital affects our production, yes, but many SMEs do not pay attention to production because they're trying to make a quick buck to solve a quick problem. They don't pay attention to the production. They don't pay attention to the quality of the goods. They don't pay attention to research to improve the quality of the goods. And at the end of the day, there's no retainership of sales or retainership of customer. Now, if you're in a business where you need to avoid production because you don't have the capital to invest in it, the counsel I gave earlier is what you should do. Leave production alone. I don't know why we have this independence ideology. If you do not have the capacity to develop your own nail product, your own hair products, buy your own lip care products, buy, brand, sell. Indelight peanut already exists in our MGI community, right? We have another FMCG very close to us, the cakes and confectionaries. Why are you trying to start another peanut brand? Why not merge with that person? Buy, sell. Because last time in FBI 1.0, I taught us about market chain, right? There are market chains. You don't have the capital enough to occupy the entire market chain, but you have the capital to occupy one step in the market chain. So let me give a practical example. I need to buy flour, buy sugar, buy milk, get my gas ready, get a location, and start producing peanut. That will cost me, this test I just mentioned will cost me, let me say, 60,000 naira, and I'll produce just 1 or 2 baskets of peanut, right? Why not buy 1 or 2 baskets of peanuts from Indelight and sell? Or enter into a partnership agreement with Indelight, buy from Indelight, rebrand as my own brand, and sell. But it's even better if you have good understanding of business and you can work out good relationship to buy from Indelight and sell as Indelight. Because in FMCGs, what you own is not the product, it's the market. Stop fighting to own the product, fight to own the market. That energy and that effort, forget the product, get the market. I'm going to be the best tailor in Nigeria. If I can sell clothes, tailors will be calling me. I don't know how to sew the best gowns for events and parties in Nigeria. If I have 1,000 people calling me every month for gowns for events, guess who is going to want to be my friend? Vicky James. Do you understand? Where we should be fighting for is the market, especially those of us that are small businesses. And what we do is that we forget the market and we focus on the product. So we focus on the product and we treat customers bad. We cheat people. We are inconsistent with the value of the product. Somebody buys a product that is not good from our hand and we sell it like that. You are producing, let's say you're a cook, you're a chef, for instance, and you are cooking food to sell in your restaurant. And as you are cooking that food, stones are inside the food. You don't want to select it. You go to the market, you find selected beans and unselected beans. You buy unselected beans and cook it like that and sell because they are students. So you forget the market and focus on the product. Now, what you do is that you are cooking the best rice on campus, for example. You are making the best rice on campus. When students come, you talk to them anyhow, you treat them anyhow, because you will always sell because you have need. Now, your product is very good, but your customer relationship is very poor. You have a low share of the market. Let's say out of 1,000 students that eat rice every night on campus, only 100 are buying from you, yet you have the best rice. Our attention should be, okay, how can I serve more people? Can I increase my space? I want to sell this rice faster. I want to finish 5 baskets of rice every night from Monday to Friday. That should be where our attention, lies. So, but these are the places to pay attention to. And as like I said earlier on, production is number one. Number two is branding. SMEs in Nigeria pay little or no attention to branding. You'll find somebody running a business and you are selling without a brand identity, without a brand name. Now, the thing is this: branding is one of the very important components of marketing. If you are in business and you're not developing a brand, I doubt your marketing. I really do. Because how are you marketing without a brand? Why do you market? You engage marketing. Why? So that you can drive sales. So it means you will not be able to scale your sales if you despise branding. Because you need branding to improve marketing and you need marketing to drive sales. Both branding and marketing, the SMEs seem to have no business with them. SMEs seem to have no business with them. So I will encourage us in Nigeria, packaging equals perceived quality and builds immediate customer trust. We all need to do that. Whether you're selling soap, float, bar soap, you're selling nail tech, you're selling hair, whatever it is you're selling, including skill. If you're selling a skill, you are a graphic designer, you are a social media manager or social media marketer, you are a video editor, you need to brand properly and let your brand have a message that you can communicate to your audience so that be a selling point in your relationship with customer retainership. Then the last is the most important. I mentioned it earlier as I spoke, is distribution. Fight for the market. Fight for the market. I work with SMEs and I work with some of them and they're talking about, oh, we have small money now, let's get this machine. Let's get this product. You have never spoken of, how do I increase my sales? How do I increase my sales? Those of you that watched 1.0, we had a case study with Indelight Peanuts, right? So Indelight has gone through an expansive phase since then. The business is doing very well currently. In fact, sales as of that FBI 1.0 currently has doubled. Equipment doubled. Now there's even staff. Interesting. And this is still student-led business. But why am I sharing this insight? I'm sharing this insight because the secret to stuff like that is developing formulas, strategies, ideas to improve sales. What's the use of your product if nobody is buying it? What's the use of your soap if nobody is buying it? Are you making 200 liters of soap because you want to show your roommates that you can make soap? No. You are making it because you want to finish it in 3 days. In 3 days. Now, there's no money, I know. It's tough, I know. Imagine if you sell 50 liters of soap daily. Many Nigerian jobs can't pay you. Many Nigerian jobs cannot pay you. I'm in the industry, so I can speak for that. You see all those jobs that they say, come and start. We'll start you at 150,000 rand. You'll be angry. You'll be offended. Because if you build distribution channels, distribution relationship, you pay attention to the market, you can do that. The most important piece, if your product is not everywhere, it does not exist. It's the most important piece. As far as it's FMCG, if your product is not in the market, if your product, those of you that are students, if I cannot walk into your school mess or your school mall and find your product within the first 3 shops, it doesn't exist. I was dealing with one of our sisters in MG and I was telling her that this your product, this your campus, dominate your campus, and step by step from their school mall to the shops in where they call computer village, little by little to the hostels, to the classrooms. The place she's trying to enter now is the lecturer's office. By the time she's closed that out, the entire school is consumed with her product. She's in business. Oh, serious business. I understand what it's like. All these 3, if you can put them together, you are on for success. You will not be among You will not be among those that we spoke about last year that you will close out in your first 5 years of business. You will not be among those people. So why FMG sector? Why FMCG rather? Why FMCG sector? This is the thing now. The reason is because the kind of audience I'm speaking to, and I want to educate you why you should pay attention to FMCG. One, job creation. Job creation. I want to make reference to Indelight confectionaries. Currently, Indelight is developing from just she had two flavor of peanut. Is developing into a multi-product um, business now. Small chops added to the picture, but I can speak that directly. Indelight is already catering for about three staff. Three people earn from Indelight on a regular basis, and it's not monthly; it's wages because they work like every week. Right? So that's a place on campus that you can just run to easily and you just get data for the week. You just go somewhere on Saturday, you just make your 4,000 naira. You subscribe from Monday to Friday. That is what I'm talking about. Job creation. One small FMCG brand can employ dedicated production staff, right? Sales representatives. For Indelight, I didn't even speak of sales representative. If I speak indirectly, Indelight is generating income for more than 10 people because she has sales agents in classes. So everybody's selling in those classes. Guess what they're doing for themselves? They're generating income for themselves. So if you're talking about Indelight since it started, at least 35 people have made money directly or indirectly from Indelight. How many people have you generated income for? How many people have eaten because of you? Is one of the things to consider FMCG for. My point number two will be local impact. When you produce locally, you actively reduce Nigeria's reliance on imports because of our grassroots, right? So you're making local impact. Number three will be the fact that it's scalable. FMCGs are scalable. FMCGs are the kind of business that you can start in school and graduate to the society and graduate it into a proper company. And if God sponsors you with divine favor and men sponsor you with divine supply and resources, you can even be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. How would it be if in 5 years from now or 10 years from now we're discussing Indelight on the Nigerian Stock Exchange as a public company with products like Minimi or like Beluxi? That scale is possible with FMCGs. There are some businesses that cannot scale. It's difficult to scale. It's difficult to scale it. FMCGs are a bit easier because if the product wins on your campus, you can easily take it off campus. And the people that were your customers on campus, when they leave campus, guess who they remember for that thing? You. So those of them, those people that are that are regular customers of Indelight Peanuts, now they are students. They are buying sachets. They will graduate. They will buy bottles. Do you understand? So this is just the beginning of a great trajectory if you're an FMCG. Those of you selling clothes, those of you selling hair, in the hair business, you're making hair on campus now. Those customers will be your customers for the next 30 years. For the next 30 years, the next 40 years. Right? And the last thing is cash flow. So who doesn't like cash flow, right? It's a sweet cash flow business. Unlike startups that everyone's looking at in tech or venture capital intensive businesses like oil and gas, you sell today, you earn today, you build immense financial liquidity and operational discipline. The major challenge many FMCGs have or SMEs have is the operational discipline. Once you perfect the operational discipline, you have no issue at all. Financial blueprint was looked into in FBI 1.0, so I won't be spending time on that because this is where many FMCGs or SMEs are crippled. This is the place, operational discipline. But if you are running a business like this, of the type and shape and form I described, cash flow, you will always be liquid. There will always be one phone call and sharp 3K entered your hand. And that exchange keeps your account active, keeps your hand warm, and keeps lack far away and poverty out the door. Now, Just from the school of thought I was coming from, I want to now speak on the major pitfalls, and I will identify three also. The major pitfalls, major challenges many of the FMCGs around us are struggling with. Many of the SMEs around us are laboring and they keep failing at these junctions. One, no distributor strategy. You are not interested in the market. You are making products and you don't want to sell. That's the simple. You are developing a product, but you don't want to sell it. How many supermarkets exist on Refinery Road, exist on Jakba Road, exist on Airport Road, for those of you that know the city of Warri, as an example, exist on PTI Road? How many businesses, product-led businesses in PTI, have ever come out of the school and say, let me visit 5 supermarkets and show them that there can be outlets to sell these products. It's cheap on campus because it's student. It will be cheaper outside if the community can get access to that student price. For instance, in the light peanut sells a bottle of peanuts at under 3,000 naira. I went to supermarket today. A bottle of peanuts cost 3,800. Even if the peanut is not good, that kind of price margin will drive sales. 800 naira margin, it will drive sales. So, but we don't have distributor strategies in place. We are not planning to distribute it to sell. We are not thinking, how do I take my products from Abraka to Fupre to PTI? I lead campuses. I've coordinated 7 campuses together across Delta State. Why don't we think of how do I get this product on these 7 campuses? The same way you got your product running in 7 classes. The same way you got your product running in 7 departments. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And the multiplier effect creates a great distribution strategy. Start with 10 shops, 5 sellers, 10 business representatives. Another thing is poor packaging. Sometimes, I don't know whether because it's campus environment, something just tells us that don't brand itself. Don't put label, just sell it. I don't want to mention name, but I know a business that sold over 500 products without any branding, no communication, no flyer, no nothing. And sold over 500 products just like that. You are losing customer retainership. That's what you are losing. You are losing because for everyone you sold, it could have been 2, and that person can't trace you back. So you are losing business. And the last thing I'm going to speak about is inconsistent quality. Today we are up, tomorrow we are down, next tomorrow we are in the middle. Today it tastes like Bonvita, tomorrow it tastes like Milo. We don't know the difference. Today is foaming heavily, tomorrow is light. Today is color green, tomorrow is color pink. We are just in limbo. There's inconsistency in the quality of the product, sometimes even in the functionality of the product. So this is 3 major pitfalls. And I'm going to run us through something very quickly. And my time is almost out. I'll run us through something very quickly. Just to add this, I want to teach us a framework for growth. 1 product, a framework for growth. I worked this framework with In the Light. I worked this framework with about 3-4 businesses now. And some of them have not paid homage, so we don't want to give them free publicity. But 3-4 businesses now, and I can assure you that this works. Start with 1 product. 1 product. Don't diversify too quickly. You know that you're going to do chin plan. I remember when In the Light wanted to also make chin. I said, no, wait. Start with 1 product because your capital is small also. You don't even have a good market share, right? Start with 1 product that's general, that everybody can plug into easily. From there you scale. If Sunday Rice decide that they want to add, they want to start selling grilled chicken, it will sell because we're already selling rice and chicken regularly. So start with 1 product. Do not diversify early. Focus purely on quality and market acceptance of that your single product first. Then micro markets. Dominate 1 street, 1 campus, 1 community. Become the known brand in that small area first. This is what we did with MGI. This thing I'm sharing with you is the same thing we did with MGI. So take PTI, take Delsu, take your department. Forget the full school. Take your department, plug it. Take the entire faculty, conquer it. take the entire school, dominate it, and you have competitive advantage. Because everything you see that is big and global has a local grassroots. We all hear about Tesla. Guess what? It has a homegrown community that love and support Elon Musk. So do that for your business. Now, distribution. I can't speak about distribution enough. God bless Obi Kubana and bless the social media. God bless Enviable for the insights they have given us into distribution. People watch them and click like and just comment. When I watch them, I go on hours of research and realize some of these things. Obi Kubana is a distribution guru. All those visits you see him doing to different markets, his distributors is going to visit. Is that a play? Somebody went to the market at Alaba to visit 16 shops. They are videoing him. We are watching and liking. He's at work. And you are lying down on the bed liking and say, all these men, they are ritualists. Yes, sir. He's a ritualist. If you work as hard as him, you will also be one. Empower retailers, hawkers, agents, whatever it will be. Just like Money Point did. Just like Money Point. Empower those small people. In the Light is doing this and is working. Empower small people to also be like representatives to give them an advantage. You'll be a wholesaler or a retailer in this business. This is how much you can make from it. Let your phone bills come from this and sell it at your convenience. Anytime you need, I will supply. I'm bearing the cost of the production, and I'm also doing retail myself, and they profit from it, right? Then the fourth thing I'll add for you is standardize. When you get all these first three steps in order, standardize, maintain the same formula, systematize production, then reinvest your profits so that you can scale. Because you need capital to scale. Somebody wanted to invest in the likes peanut 2 years ago, right? And they have been up and down. It's not been easy. Right? And I believe that money was invested at that time, it would have been lost. Maybe we'll have another edition. I'll bring one of our small, business founders on a session like this. We'll just discuss like a simple podcast. It would have closed down. But the money she was trying to raise that time, she has double of it now. So standardize the business. A point will come where you now know your customers, that your customers like chocolate flavor. You now know that your customers like pink color. You're not trying to satisfy everybody. You know your customers like green color. For example, your customers like native. You're not trying to meet everybody's need. So just a recap, because I'm wrapping up now. One thing I want us to take home is that FMCG is not just a product business, right? It is a system business. Your systems are way more important than your products. Winning companies build supply chains, distribution network, and brand trust ecosystems. Those of you that know Christ Embassy, in 2020, Reverend Chris Yakilome came out and said that Christ Embassy has the largest distribution network in the world. And I was like, how can a pastor make that statement? But he's not lying. Guess the product. Rhapsody of Realities. Rhapsody of Realities is read even in China, where Bibles are illegal. They are smuggling it into countries where it's not planned, right? So that is a huge tax. And that's to tell you that all these formulas are what build great companies, what build great organizations, and what will build your small business on your small scale. So don't just focus on the product alone. Focus on distribution networks. Focus on layers and relationships that can help distribute and marketing and sales. That's all you need, right? So I'm going to give us one case study, one example in closing, because I love practicalities. And then after that, we'll call it a wrap. I wanted to speak about sausage roll, a sausage roll example. Okay, don't worry, you people can cut it there. People are distracting. I will end with the last insight I shared. So the insight I shared, though people work on this part, is that build relationships that can help with your supply chain, work on your supply chain, your distribution network, and marketing and sales. Pay attention to those, and then your numbers. Every business has two tests: the story test for your brand representation, and then the numbers test. Many of us get the story test and fail the number test. Many of us fail the number test. That's for those of us that pass the story test. We yet fail the number test. We don't even know what our numbers are. What are your margins? What's your revenue like? What's your profits? Right? What are the what's the amount of capital, what amount of capital will produce a certain amount of result. Right? We are not tracking our businesses. We don't have documentation. Oh, some of you can't even say, I've run this business for 2 months. This is the amount of products we have sold in the past 1 year, and it's bad. It's a irresponsible way to do business. This is also because many small businesses don't have a future. They don't have a future not because of the economy, but because the founder, or what we will call the CEO or the managing director, which is you in your sole proprietorship, you don't have a plan for that business to go into the future. You are not planning future, because if you are planning future, data will be priority. So ensure you track your numbers, keep the data, track these numbers. If you can master what people use every day, you build businesses that will survive every season. Every season your business will survive if you master what people use every day. For those of you on campus, holiday will look like a fall, and in session will be like a rise again. Your business will thrive all around because people use them on a daily basis. I would encourage you in closing to start small. Start small so you can test the market. Think in systems and build your distribution relentlessly. Pay attention to marketing and sales. Take record of your numbers, and the small business you are calling small today will eventually cascade into IPOs in the nearest future. Thank you so much for participating in FBI 2.0. I'm sure you must have picked one or two. We have opportunity for interaction on our community. We are open to questions and answers. You can even pop up, questions on the group chat. There are other people on the group aside me. There are business owners there. There are people that are leading other communities there that will respond to your questions. We have a dedicated question and answer session where we discuss issues like this and expand our mind. We bring mentors to come and speak to us in our symposiums at different instances during the year. We have the 3F conference. We encourage you, participate with us, engage with us. We're a growth-driven community, and whatever the Lord has put in your hand will grow and increase. Thank you very much. God bless you.